and new things come up. And today is what, the 15th of September, right?
Yes.
So, the 11th of September, 17 years ago, we know what happened in our country and how we were all sad and frustrated and angry. We all went through that experience. I'm going to tell you a little personal story, not to make it sound too sentimental or anything, but because this is so real. So, the September 11, 2001, I was working out of New Jersey. I was there in a little place called Parsippany, New Jersey. And my wife was unemployed at that time. She was at home in Brooklyn. And our daughter, our only child, was on her 4th day at Stuyvesant High School. We came from Albany, New York to New York City, taking a lot of risk. I was a scientist at that time. I quit, gave up my science career to go back to school to do a degree in humanities and writing and media, because that was my life's goal. Simply that I could not ever do it before until that point. So I came to New York to study journalism and writing at Columbia University. I was here all by myself for 1 year. And by that time, my daughter, who was in 8th grade, she was getting ready for taking the Sci-High test, which is like a very difficult test. Because, you know, if we come to New York, then where do you send your child to school? And that is question number 1. So she did well. She got admitted. She is a smart kid, unlike her dad. 25,000, no, I'm serious, 25,000 people, kids, took the test. They took in 400. So it's like a huge accomplishment. We were all very happy. You know, our life begins anew, refreshed. We are here in New York City. I have a new job as a journalist at ABC TV, and then lo and behold, on the 4th day of our high school, 9/11 happens. And then Stuyvesant High School, as you know, so right across the street. And then she saw the whole thing right in front of her eyes. Towers crumbling down. Before that, people are actually jumping to their deaths. And for a long time, we had to cope with that trauma. She had to cope with that trauma, and some of her friends, they became depressed, clinically depressed. I have had a couple of friends who actually died since, because they had issues and they could not take that toxic fume that they had to go through. I knew some people, not directly but indirectly, who were working on top of one of the towers. There was a restaurant. We've been to that restaurant many times. That was called Windows of the World. And a whole bunch of Bangladeshi Muslim workers worked there, immigrants. And they all died instantly. Now the question is, why do I bring this up at all? I'm bringing this up for a special reason. Well, first reason, that I was watching that YouTube as if I didn't have anything fun to do during lunchtime. And number 2, it brought back a lot of memories. And the other reason is that every time there is mention of 9/11, there is like an automatic response of anger, which is very justified. Very justified. Some people, terrorists, they attacked America and lost thousands of people, and there must be a justified reason for anger. But that is only one part of the story. The other part of the story is not really so told or so told well. That is that what happened after that. On one hand, we saw rounding up of thousands of innocent people. I knew many of them personally. They had, laughable that somebody would actually put them together with terrorism. They are so naive. They were picked up at gunpoint in the middle of the night, and they were detained, moved from prison to prison throughout this country, and then they were deported summarily. I was an immigrant rights activist, grassroots organizer at that time. I was working on hate crimes. I was called the post 9/11 hate crime expert or whatever. I'm not too delighted with that name, but that's what I did for a number of years and tried to save lives. Went from prison to prison to find out some of those people who were going through a harrowing time. They didn't know what to do. They had no clue why they were picked up, why they were detained, and then the last time their families heard from them is, yeah, you know what, I'm back in Pakistan. The rest of the family, they were helpless, they had no money, they had no resources, no information. Some of them didn't have any citizenship. Yeah, some of them were undocumented illegal immigrants. And then that was the last time they lived in America, because they folded their little shop and left because the head of the family is deported. And ever since, that climate of fear, a climate of anger, a climate of blaming a group of people for all the ills, all the problems the country has gone through, has become commonplace. There was war, genocide, destroying a country, an ancient civilization that has had absolutely nothing to do with 9/11, and then basically branding immigrants and a group of people for all the evils that people in power have unleashed on us, creating instability, inequality, uncertainty, a destruction of the economy, destruction of labor unions, creating private prison, making Walmart and Monsanto and Exxon huge, gigantic corporations with no regulations on them. And suddenly, when your country is in a serious situation, you blame all the problems on these people that had absolutely nothing to do with the situation of this country. And I want to make that point today, because it is very, very easy to have knee-jerk reactions and put our blames on people. But do we do that based on first-hand information, based on our research? Or do we do that just because some people, they ask me to do it and act that way? That is the difference between people who believe in racism, who believe in xenophobia, who believe in the politics of hate and fear, and people like us who are united, who are together, and who think differently about life, and who want to find out the real reasons behind the social and economic and political turmoil. So please, take a little time and reflect on it. I am here for the first time since the anniversary of 9/11 this year, and this was my first opportunity to reflect on it. Hence, this personal story. Thank you for listening. Okay. So go back to our class, and I will need your cooperation to go back to your research room.